Okay, so today we are discussing about the next part of your oblique projectile. So in the next part of your oblique projectile, we shall discuss about the remaining factors like time of ascent, time of descent, time of flight, maximum height. So these factors we need to discuss here. Let us enjoy this session here. It's a very interesting concept now today. Let us see what is going to happen. So here you are projecting a body with certain initial velocity. This body is going to take a parabola. This body is going to take a parabola. Now we need to find out what is the time of ascent. Let us do simultaneously vertical projection, oblique projectile, vertical projectile, oblique projectile. Simultaneously you will try to understand. Let us see what happens. So here, when you throw a body upwards, what is time of ascent? We shall discuss here. Here, the basic formula for both the cases is V is equal to U plus AT. See, each and every formula has got certain speciality in this. Like V is equal to U plus AT, in this formula there is no displacement. Displacement is not there. If you observe this formula, ut plus half AT square, in this formula there is no final velocity. Then you consider V square minus U square is equal to 2AS. In this formula, there is no time. So these three formulas have certain specialities here. First formula, there is no displacement. Second formula, there is no final velocity. Third formula, there is no discussion of time in this formula. It's very easy to select the formula now. The formula in which there is no displacement discussed. In the question, if he is not discussed about displacement, then select the formula in which there is no displacement. In the problem, if he is not discussing, if he is not discussing about final velocity, then select the formula in which final velocity is not there. In the concept, in the problem, if he is not at all discussing about time, he is not giving time, he is not asking us to find out time. If there is no discussion of time in the question, problem, then you have to select the third formula. This is a small clue. You need to say it is a small technique to find out, to select the formula, which is to be selected at what point. Which concept, which formula you have to select. So in the vertical projection, if you throw a body, when you are throwing a body, initial velocity is in our hands. Initial velocity is in our hands because you are only throwing the body. You throw fastly, you throw with high speed, it reaches maximum height. More height it will reach. If you throw upwards with less speed, it will reach less height. So you have to decide how much speed you have to consider while throwing it upwards. That is called as initial velocity. Here, final velocity is going to be zero because its body is going to stop there. From here to here, how much time it is taking, that is called as time of ascent. So time of ascent is nothing but time taken by a body to reach the maximum height from the point of projection. Time taken by a body to reach the maximum height from the point of projection. But when you consider an oblique projectile, time taken by a body to reach this point which is called as maximum height here. So from here to here, this is the limit I can say. This is the limit. This is the limit point. From here to here, time of ascent. From here to here, time of descent. So maximum height is the limiting point for time of ascent. And from maximum height it is coming down. That is a limiting point, limiting time for time of descent. So now, for this case, for one dimension, if you observe, what is going to, this is called as one dimensional projection, projecting upwards. So in this case, as a body is moving up, you consider A is equal to minus G. When a body is moving against to the gravitational force, then we consider acceleration is going to be minus G. It's very interesting. Let us enjoy this session here. Okay. So A is equal to minus G. When a body moves up, then let us see what is going to happen here. So in one dimension, V is equal to 0. U is in your hand. So U is present. U is present here. And A is equal to minus G. And T is equal to time of ascent. T is equal to time of ascent. So therefore, all these things you substitute here. How much you are going to get? 0 is equal to U. A is equal to minus G. T is equal to TA. So GTA left side and U will be right side, because this comes left side becomes minus becomes plus here. So time of ascent is equal to U by G. It's very simple. In one dimensional you write it as TA is equal to U by G. In two dimension what is going to happen? Formula here in two dimension is same. Same formula in two dimension also. This is the formula here. But here time of ascent and time of descent, these two concepts we are considering at y-axis. Y-axis is the measuring reference point. Y-axis is the reference point here for this time of ascent and time of descent. So we need to discuss about this time of descent, time of ascent, maximum height along y-axis only. There is only one point which we need to discuss along the x-axis, that is called as range. Because range is nothing but maximum horizontal distance. So only the range will consider along x-axis. Time of ascent, time of descent, maximum height, all these things we shall discuss along y-axis only. So now instead of v, we write vy is equal to uy minus g into ta. That's it. So v will write as vy, u will write as uy, a you will write it as minus g, and t you will write it as ta. Okay. So let us see what is going to happen. At this place, vy is going to be 0 because only horizontal velocity will be present here. That is u cos theta. I already discussed here. Here, as theta is going to be 0 in this case for y-axis. So vy is going to be 0 here. So body is not moving along the vertical direction. Body is completely horizontal now. Body is completely horizontal. So vertically there is no velocity here because it is completely horizontal direction. So vy is going to be 0 here. So we will write vy is equal to 0. Then you will write 0 is equal to uy minus gta, same as it is only. Ta, g into ta left side, uy will be right side. Uy will be right side. Ta is equal to uy by g. This implies that Ta is equal to uy. You know ux is equal to u cos theta. Uy is equal to u sin theta here. Ux is equal to u cos theta. Uy is equal to u sin theta. So therefore, you just write uy as u sin theta by g. That's it. Let us enjoy this session. Let us enjoy this session now. So time of ascent we got in the case of oblique projectile. Time of ascent in the case of one dimension is u by g, but here uy by g, that's it, that's the difference here. Now let us consider the next topic here, which is called as time of descent. Time of descent, which can be considered as td. So this is the time of descent, moving from highest point to the lowest point, that is it touching the ground. Time of descent you can define like this: time taken by a body to reach the ground from the point of dropping. In the oblique projectile, from maximum height, how much time it will take to reach the ground. From the maximum height, how much time it is going to take to reach the maximum. Okay, so therefore let us see what is going to happen here. So now time of descent means this time we got it, this time you have to find out. First let us discuss what happens in one dimension, and let us see what happens in two dimension also simultaneously. If you observe what is happening in one dimension, when you drop a body from top, it will reach the ground, touch the ground. Time is called as time of descent. Initial velocity is 0 because when you hold the body, before leaving your hand, initial velocity of the body is going to be 0. How much time it will take to reach the ground? That is the question before us. Then in one dimension, you will write only simple formula. When you are dropping the body, height you are going to decide. Height you are going to decide, because how much height I am dropping the body? I am dropping the stone from first floor or second floor or third floor, that I am going to decide. If there is someone at the ground floor, I am throwing one stone from first floor, he will just make a little sound. Abba. When he drop the stone in the second floor, he will make more sound. Abba. Because you are dropping with lot of height. So final velocity before touching the ground will be more pain will be there. But when you throw the stone from the fifth floor, there will not be any sound. That means he is at full stop. Okay, he is gone. That's the meaning here. So height you are going to decide. So when you are dropping any stone of this size from fifth floor, if it falls on his head, there won't be any sound. Okay, because he went to coma. Understand? Coma means very soon it is full stop also. Let us see what is going to happen here. So when you are dropping, a ball is coming down. When a ball is coming down, acceleration you are considering is to be plus g. Acceleration is plus g. When you are going against to the ground, you are going opposite to the gravitational force, so minus g. You are coming towards the earth, towards the gravitational force which is positive. So vector is positive here in this case. Then which formula you will select here among these three? The formula, if you observe here, there is no discussion of final velocity in this case. So with how much final velocity the ball will hit the ground, no one knows. Who is going to know? On the person, the ball is falling on his head. He is getting a lot of pain. He knows the final velocity, but we don't know the final velocity because you are dropping with certain height. We don't know the final velocity because you are dropping the ball. Who will know? The person on which the ball or a stone is going to hit his head, he will know the final velocity. So before falling down, before shouting, he'll say 30 meters per second, like this. Okay, so what does he have? Let us see here now. So therefore, final velocity doesn't know. Which formula to be selected? The formula to be selected is S is equal to ut plus half gt square. Understand? Now, if you are going to select this formula, S is going to be h. Here in this case, S is going to be h. U is going to be 0. U is going to be 0. Here it is A. So A is going to be plus G. This is a general formula. I need not take G first only. We don't know A. We don't take A, G here because A is there here. But afterwards we'll take A is equal to plus G here. So these things if you substitute you are getting H is equal to half GT square. But you have to take T is equal to TD. TD means time of descent. Let this be equation number 1. Let this be equation number 1 here. So this is one method of finding height. Next, we'll find the maximum height also here. So what is the maximum height in this case? Let us find out the maximum height also in this case. How are you going to find out the maximum height? Okay, let us see how we are going to find out the maximum height here. So when a body is thrown upwards, here, how much maximum height the body is going to reach? So in this case, as you are throwing a body upwards, here, then you will be in your hands. You will be in your hands. You are throwing a body. But as it is going and stopping at the topmost point, V is going to be 0 and A is going to be minus G. So the formula you have to select. Which formula you will select? Here if you observe, the condition is there is no discussion of time. There is no discussion of time here. As there is no discussion of time here, therefore you have to select the formula in which there is no discussion of time. Which formula you are going to select? V square minus U square is equal to 2AS. Or V square minus U square is equal to 2AS. There you will take V as a 0 minus U square. A is equal to minus R. Let us write like this. V is equal to 0. V is equal to this black color, dirty black color. This will spoil the whole attraction of the board. Let us take this one. V is equal to 0, U is present, A is equal to minus G and S is equal to H. Okay, S is equal to H here. Displacement is going to be height here. So the things you are substituting here, 0 square minus U square is equal to minus 2G into H here. So minus minus gets cancelled here. H is going to be U square by 2G. So we got one formula and we got the second formula for height. So these two formulas are representing the height here. Okay. So this formula is also representing the height. This formula also representing the height. Make these two formulas equal. 1 equal to 2 you can write here. So you can write half G TD square is equal to U square by 2G. 2 gets cancelled here. TD square is equal to U square. This G goes here, it is going to become G square. Therefore, finally you are going to write TD is equal to square root of U square by G square. So root square cancels here. How much you are going to get at last? You are going to get U by G. Okay, you are going to get U by G. So therefore, time of descent is going to be U by G and also equal to time of ascent. See, time of ascent is U by G. Time of descent also U by G. Time of ascent also U by G. Time of descent also U by G. What is the meaning of this? The meaning of this is when you project a body upwards, how much time it is going to take to reach upwards? The same time it is going to take to reach the ground also. So time of ascent, time of descent, both the times are same. With how much time it is taking to reach the maximum height, the same time it will take to reach the ground. That is the proof of this equation which I am going to write here. I think you have enjoyed this session now. So next, let us go and see what is happening here in time of descent in the case of oblique projectile. So in the case of oblique projectile, the same formula you are going to select in 2 dimension also. So 2 dimension you will write the formula S is equal to ut plus half at square only. But here as time of descent it is considered from half, from top here. So you are considering from here to here time of descent. So the remaining part which is I am considering here is this part. This part is representing time of descent. Here in this case uy is going to be 0. Okay. Here for the see, let us consider here for this particular half, initial velocity is here, final velocity is there. For second half, initial velocity is here, final velocity is here. For first half, final velocity is 0. For second half, initial velocity is going to be 0. Because final velocity of the first half is going to be the initial velocity of the second half. So let us see what is going to happen. Uy is going to 0. So here, S is going to be H. U is going to be Uy, which is equal to 0. A is going to be plus G because here also body is coming down. And what is this? This is considered to be height maximum. I am drawing only the second part of the parabola. Kya bola? Second part of the parabola. Then A is equal to plus G. So S is equal to H. U is equal to Uy into T plus half GT D square. Because we need to consider T also should be replaced with TD as we have done here. So if this is the problem, Uy is going to be 0 as we have said here. Uy is going, this part is going to be 0. Therefore H is going to be half GTD square. This is equation number 1 here. Same equations you are getting for both oblique projectile, 1-dimensional projectile and 2-dimensional projectile. Now let us consider what is the maximum height. So to find out the maximum height, so this is going to be the maximum height. So how much height it will reach when you throw a body from the point of projection, you need to consider the maximum height here. So you have to consider the same formula in this case. And what is the formula here? V square minus U square is equal to 2AS. Because there is no discussion of time in this. You have to find out only the height. There is no discussion of time in this formula. Select the formula in which time is not present. The third formula you have to select here. So only one thing you have to do. You have to convert V into Vy. U into Uy. A is equal to minus G as it is going against to the gravitational force. Upwards it is going when it is going to reach the maximum height. Then S is equal to H. S is equal to H. You will write here. So you will write Vy square minus Uy square is equal to plus 2GH. Okay. So Vy you will consider here. Uy. So what is Uy here? What is Vy? I just told you at this place Vy is equal to 0 for the first part here. So for the first part Uy Vy is going to be 0. But the second part Vy will become Uy, that is also going to be 0. So from here to here final velocity will become initial velocity for the second part of the parabola. For the first part of the parabola, final velocity is going to be 0 and that is considered as initial velocity for the second part of the parabola, that is also 0. That's it. That's it. That's it. Therefore, Uy is going to be 0. This part is going to be 0 here. So how much you are going to get? You are getting V square. Sorry. Yes. So small confusion. So when you throw a body here, we are taking the first part. So Vy is going to be 0 here. We are considering the first part here, from here to here. So final velocity is going to be 0 here. So let us consider here, final velocity is going to be 0. Let us consider the first part to find out the maximum height. So when you are going to consider the first part, then what is going to be 0 here? Here, Vy square minus Uy square is there. And as you are going to consider the first part, A is going to be minus G here. And Vy square minus Uy square is equal to minus 2GH you are getting. So now, you know that Vy is going to be 0 for the first part. Second part we will discuss. We have already discussed the second part here. So first part we have to discuss for finding the maximum height. So what are you going to do now? 0 square minus Uy square is equal to minus 2GH. Here minus minus gets cancelled. Anyhow 0 is not present. 0 means nothing is there. Therefore H is equal to Uy square by 2G is the problem. Solution. But here Uy means U sine theta here. So that's it. Same formula you are getting. For maximum height you are getting U square by 2G here. But here in this case you are getting Uy square by 2G. That's it. That's the difference here. And you know what is Uy. Uy is considered to be U sine theta by G. Uy is considered to be U sine theta by G. So you got the answer here. Okay. By 2 also is present here. U square, H is equal to, U means, Uy means U sine theta. But square is present. So U square sine square by 2 is also present by 2G here. So here U square by 2G, here Uy square by 2G, and U is nothing but U sine theta. So U square sine square theta by 2G. So we got the heights here. Let us consider this height as 2, this height as 1. Both are representing the heights only. While going in the from first part, that is also maximum height. For second part, it is falling from maximum height. First part, reaching the maximum height. Second part, falling from the maximum height. Same. The same. You are getting same. That's it. So make it 1. 1 will be equal to 2. When 1 is equal to 2, then what happens here? Half GTD square is equal to U square sine square theta by 2G. Okay. So then here, let us cancel out 2. Then what are you going to get? You are getting TD whole square is equal to U square sine square theta by G square. That's it. So this square goes to that side, becomes, this square goes to that side, becomes square root. So time of descent is equal to U sine theta by G, okay, and we got time of ascent. We got time of ascent also in this case. What was the time of ascent? U sine theta by G. What is the time of descent? U sine theta by G only. U sine theta by G only. With this you will understand that time of ascent and time of descent both are going to be same. Time of ascent and time of descent both are going to be same here in this case. Hope you have understood. Okay. So if you understood, take a screenshot. Then let us prove here. So what is the meaning of this? You know how much time it will take to reach from here to here. The same time it will take to reach from highest point to the lowest point. From lowest to highest and highest to lowest, same time. Time of ascent is equal to time of descent. Now we shall discuss about range. Now we shall discuss about range here. Okay. So what do you mean by range? Okay, what do you mean by range? You know, when you throw a body, what is the maximum horizontal distance a body is going to travel? So from here, how much is the maximum horizontal distance? See, when you throw a javelin throw means there is one pipe, you are throwing it. Discus means you are throwing one disc like this. Shot put means you are throwing a shot put like this. So all these you are throwing with a angle. And who is going to succeed in that athletics? Who is going to get more points? Whose range is maximum? He is going to get the more points. Not that person who is throwing the highest point. Who is throwing to the highest point is not going to be the winner. Who is going to be the winner? A winner is the person who will throw the shot put, javelin, discus with a maximum horizontal distance. That is called as a range. Here, maximum horizontal distance is going to be the range. This you have to find out now. How are you going to find out this one? How are you going to find out this one? To find out this one, first we need to find out what is time of flight. What is going to be the time of flight? So, time of flight is nothing but, the definition is like this. Time of flight is time taken by a body to remain in air is called as time of flight. Time taken by a body to remain in air is called as time of flight. So, here time of flight. Here time of flight. So here time of flight is nothing but TA plus TD. So if it is one dimension, TA is u by g, TD is also u by g. So this is going to be 2u by g. Here also time of flight is nothing but time of ascent and time of descent. This is in the case of 2 dimension. So 2 dimension you will write u sin theta by g plus u sin theta by g. So this is going to be 2u sin theta by g. If you want, you can write like this directly. Or if you want to find out time of flight in some other way, that also it is possible. Now, let us take, during the time of flight, the body is starting from here, ending from here. Starting from here, ending up to here. So, you will take the formula, general formula, that is, what formula you will take to find out the time of flight? You will consider S is equal to ut plus half at square. Okay. Let us imagine this formula you are getting. Now, displacement along y-axis. This is all taking place along y-axis, I told you. So, time of flight is also taking place along y-axis only. Only range is considered in the x-axis. So, time of flight, how are you going to find out this one? How are you going to find out the time of flight here? It's very simple. So, to find out the time of flight, you have to consider along y-axis, displacement is going to be 0. Along the y-axis, if you observe, the body moves upwards up to here, again comes down. That means initial point along the y-axis is the same. Final point is also here only because I am considering y-axis only. So y-axis means what? Starting point is same. Ending point, it is falling here only, means it is falling on x-axis only. It is starting at x-axis and falling at along the x-axis. So along the y-axis, if you observe, that means when a parabola is moving in this direction, from side if you see, you will not observe the parabolic path. You will see as if some body is raising up and falling down, because you are seeing from this side and parabola is that side. So if you see from this side, that means you are seeing along the y-axis. That means the body moves upwards and falls down. That's it you are going to see. You are not going to see this curve. That means the displacement, the total displacement along the y-axis is going to be 0. This is a 0 and u is considered to be uy. U is considered to be uy. So when u is considered to be uy, then what are you going to say now? U is considered to be uy but t is going to be capital T here, because I have told time of flight. So as I am considering the total path here, time taken for a total path is time of flight. Time taken by a body and remain in air. And what is the meaning here? When you start throwing from here till it reaches the ground, it is in air only. So time taken in remain in air. Time taken to remain in air is called as time of flight here. So let us enjoy the session now. Here displacement is 0. T is equal to capital T. U is equal to uy. So here you will write small 0 and this is uy into capital T. As the body is moving upwards by the starting point here, so that is considered to be minus g. So this can be written as minus half g capital T whole square. So what are you going to do now? 0 you will write like that only. T if you common out, uy minus half gt you are getting. So t you are common. T comes here, it becomes 0 anyhow. So what is left now? Uy minus half gt is equal to 0. So 0 by t is 0. It is not going to be 0. 0 by t is going to be 0. That's it. So send this to right side. So how much you are going to get? Uy is equal to half gt. T is equal to 2uy by g. That is, t is equal to 2uy is nothing but u sin theta by g. So this is going to be the time of flight. This is going to be the time of flight here. So once you got a time of flight, the next part of the question you are going to find here is a range. Range is nothing but the maximum horizontal distance from the point of projection to the point of falling down. the point of projection to the point of reaching the ground. This horizontal distance we are considered, and this takes place only along x-axis, not along y-axis. Till now, whatever you have derived, that is time of ascent, time of descent, time of flight, maximum height, all things you have found along y-axis, but horizontal range you are finding along x-axis. Only one concept, no. Let us allow it to go along the x-axis. Let us find out along the x-axis, because x-axis is feeling alone. It is not having any friends, but only range is its friend. All are the friends of y-axis. Only range is a friend of x-axis. Along the x-axis, what is going to happen? Let us see here. So here, the same formula you write. S is equal to ut plus half gt square. But I told you, along the x-axis, gx is going to be 0. A is equal to gx. I told you, along the x-axis, gravitational force is not going to act. In this direction, gravitational force will act? No. Gravitational force will act downwards, not in this direction. If it acts in this direction, then you would have kept one weighing machine, weighing box on the wall, and touched your trunk like this to find your weight. Are you doing like that? Are you keeping the weighing machine at the side of the wall and touching your trunk like this to feel your weight? What? No, not possible. So what are you going to do? To see your weight, you keep the weighing machine downwards. A weighing machine downwards. Stand on it so that gravitational force acts downwards. Gives you accurate value. If your weight is 100 kgs like me, then your weight will be 100 kgs only. If you touch the weighing machine on the wall and touch your trunk, it will show only 10 kgs. That doesn't mean that your weight is 10 kgs. It is showing a wrong reading. So G doesn't act horizontally. G acts vertically downwards. That's it. Come on. Let us do what happens. So Gx is not present. So here, but A is equal to Gx is equal to 0, and S is going to be the range here. Displacement is going to be the range here. And what else you are going to take? U is considered as Ux, which is equal to U cos theta in this case. Okay, so remaining things are same. So Gx is going to be 0. A is equal to Gx. So first, while writing the formula, I'll write A only. S is equal to ut plus half at square, where A is equal to 0. So this part is to be removed. Doesn't consider that part because G is not acting horizontally. As acceleration due to gravity is not present, acceleration is also not present. Over. That's it. So S is going to be range. U is going to be Ux, and T is going to be the total time of flight, because range means total time of flight you have to consider, not time of ascent. See, time of ascent means half of the range. Time of descent means half of the range. Complete time we need. So complete time we need. So time of flight you have to consider. So Ux into T. Instead of T, you'll write capital T. That's it. So range. Ux is nothing but U cos theta, and capital T, whatever you have got now, that is 2u sin theta by G. That's it. So here U and U are U square. You write 2 sin theta separately, cos theta separately, divide it with G. 2 sin theta you write separately, cos theta you write separately. Club them here, then these are going to be U square. You know, in mathematics, in trigonometry, 2 sin theta cos theta is nothing but sin 2 theta. So you'll write sin 2 theta by G. So this is going to be the formula for your range. Okay? Okay, range lo find out chesina formula. Range formula. See, once I explain, there is no chance of any doubt. That's it. Okay, come on.